And we are here. We're here. Let's go ahead. Let's speed right into this. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
So I'm Demetrius,
And I'm Demetrius,
and Meet presents.
the Blurred City Podcast.
All right, so we are here with episode 4 of Ahsoka, Fallen Jedi. This was a wild episode. So with that, let's get into it. Legal spiel.
Purpose of this podcast is to explore digital and print media. All sources we reference are owned by the respective companies, Dave Filoni, and our thoughts and opinions are strictly our own greatness and reflect no biases of corporate agendas whatsoever. This is heat. Your discretion is surely advised.
All right, so day this podcast drops, it's obviously 9/11. So first of all, we just really want to give respect to, victims of that. Just a lot of people that lost family members, lost loved ones and friends. So I just want to take a moment of silence or just respect that. And then jumping back into it, Meech, with that, we can just go get into the Pulse of the People.
Okay, this is it. This was the episode from the Pulse of the People. Everybody fully agrees that that they was cooking. They was cooking an absolute platter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People were in love with this episode. I've seen reactions to this episode. Folks is crying. Folks is having darn near heart attacks. And then a certain sort of the Jedi, she was literally in absolute tears and speechless. So all I gotta say is this was it.
Yes, and we will have you on soon. Our schedules are crazy. Yeah, so the Pulse of the People, we definitely want to just man, it was a crazy episode. So we can really dive right into it and get to the breakdown of it. So we're getting into spoilers for episode 4 of Ahsoka. So you want to kick us off?
Oh yes, because we first needs to start talking about how Ahsoka and Sabine, they're pretty much just on the bridge of the ship, and Ahsoka's pretty much essentially thinking about reaching Thrawn, and she's starting to have doubts okay, if we reach Thrawn, there may not be a chance that we can find Ezra. There may be a time when we have to choose whether to leave Ezra behind in order to ensure that Thrawn doesn't get back. And it's causing Sabine to feel some type of way because hey, that's her man's. So it's what's the deal? But one of the things I really do like is just how it's just you see the dynamic and you see them come to a head. It's kind of when things are pushed to the table, I have to be the one to make those hard choices. And that was paraphrasing what Ahsoka said, and essentially spoiler alert, that's gonna be the crux of what happens this episode.
Yes. Yeah, so with that, we see that one, they're still stuck on that planet that they were in last week. And then on the opposite side, we see Hera. She's trying to, get a fleet. Well, she's not trying to. She has a fleet together. She still doesn't have official authorization about to occur, but she's no fam, I'm leaving. And we see our boy, the pilot. I can't remember his name directly. If you recall.
Captain Carson Teva.
Yes. So with that, if you've seen The Mandalorian, we've seen him multiple times with that. So he's along for the ride, and they essentially go into just kind of following where Ahsoka's distress signal that they're trying to get out and travel to there to kind of stop this. So then moving forward, just, a few things where we see Morgana or just Morgan. Morgan, she's yo, go find them, stall them. It's time to go make preparations. And just with that, Balin is stoically again looking into the forest. So we get a moment of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and Huang really he throws hands. I was surprised.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, you can't be out here teaching the Jedi and you soft. What you think this was?
Yeah. So if you want to go ahead with the action scene of it.
Oh yeah, so we got that, because Hawaii, he's fighting some HK droids again. Old Republic, come at me. And then you have Ahsoka and then Sabine coming in with the team up specials, and Sabine using her ropes and her guns, blasters, and then Ahsoka just out here using the Force, using her lightsabers, absolute queens. And then and then you got both of them just run off into the woods in order to get to Balin or to stop everything. And Huyang gives a very specific a piece of advice, which is don't split up. Y'all work better together.
Mhm.
And I'm just here like in my horror bag. I'm just like, listen, if you listen, you split up in a horror movie, like it's wraps for y'all. And then of course like they run and then they end up running into baby girl Sheehan and Marek.
Oof. So yeah, they kind of just like pair off. Sabine is like, yo, I gotta get my one-on-one get back with Sabine, and now I have
like
my
that.
full gear. She has her full gear. She took up the blaster stance. If you play Jedi Survivor, so with that, they kind of go at it, and then with Merrick, that entire scene and fight with Ahsoka, he gets clapped, and I was surprised, and he was nothing but a spirit. The Holy Ghost, and we both just finished watching The Nun too, so we're kind of in tune with what's going on there.
Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, so he's just a Night Sister zombie.
Yeah,
If you played Jedi Fallen Order on Dathomir, you know exactly what you're going up against. And that is the ultimate way to subvert expectations. And of course, baby girl Sabine, and she's fighting baby girl Sheehan, and they're both clashing at it with lightsabers. But then they immediately forget what Huyang says, because he's like, "Hey, I got this. I got this. Let me run my ones. You go to Balin and get the map back." I was like, "Bruh." but yeah, Ahsoka, she gets into the fight. Also, one thing to note, she only uses one lightsaber for this entire episode.
Didn't she like switch it for part of it? Like she started with two against Merrick, and then all of a sudden it was just like one for some reason.
Nope, she was only using one the entire episode.
Okay.
But yeah, she goes and she meets up with Balin, who is like, "Hey, Anakin talked a lot about you. Know what I'm saying? It's all about power. This is all about, it is what it is. Just go ahead and let this happen." And Ahsoka was not about that. She's like, "Run my ones, boy. Let me show you why why this show is named after me." And unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
at all. She gets washed.
that was actually surprising. I mean, like again, for some reason she's been using two the entire time, and then today she just decides to use one. So with that, she is able to kind of just like take the map out of the essentially computer system with that, and it's like definitely a kickback, kind of like fries her hand essentially. And like with that, they needed it there because it was mapping the final coordinates for it. So she manages to take it out. She's doing her job, and then we see Shin comes first, and she's like, obviously Ahsoka, who has seen her her Padawan laid up in a hospital bed, because she lost to that person before. And then she's like, oh, she immediately thinks she lost. So then she hits her with the Force. I thought she was using the dark side at first.
Well, no, she 100% was using the dark side in that moment. That was a straight up Force choke. She had Shin leaking.
Okay, so she like tossed her. And then we see Sabine comes, and then I'm gonna hold off my comments because I know if I go too crazy about Sabine, then the sword of the Jedi is gonna donut me. So with that,
go into it, boy. Just do it.
Okay.
Do it.
So she has the option to destroy the star system, the map essentially, which will prevent them for at the moment accessing where they think that Thrawn is. Again, all of this is just theoretical. Like, we don't know if Ezra, we know Ezra isn't Merrick, but we don't know if Ezra is with Thrawn. We don't know if any of them are alive, or like if a Purgle will eat them or not. So again, it's all guesstimations. And with that, but Ahsoka, who's near the edge and was like barely holding off Balin, and she told her to destroy Sabine, to destroy the map. She didn't, because again, Ezra Bay is in a different galaxy. You got to find him. And then with that, Ahsoka, she's like, either, let Ahsoka go or I'll destroy it. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just toss her off.
But like, get knocked off this cliff.
I was shook up. So knocks her off, and then he just like talk no juices her.
Yeah.
To giving it up.
Yes, he's like, listen, hey, listen. And he also uses like some Jedi mind tricks as well. It's like, hey, listen. I know you want to see your mans again. I know what you trying to do, you know? We in it for the same goal, you know? We both in search of something that's lost out there. How about you give this over? I reunite you with your mans, and then we do what we want. Agreed? And of course, Sabine, clouded by love, gives it over, and then immediately gets force choked by Shin.
Yeah, and he was like,
this was a force choke off.
And immediately he was like, yo, you gotta chill. I gave her my word unlike her former master, which was a wild bar. So kind of with that, they take Morgana up, and well, they take her to Morgan, and yeah, Hera comes, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool. They're gonna kind of stop them before they jump into hyperspace. And literally when she was like, just ignore them, I was like, oh, it's like that. So
small.
I'll get into what I want to say later in the predictions, but I'll let you handle this part that everyone is talking about.
Okay. So sorry, we cooking. All right. So what happened is, okay, so Morgan and them, they enter hyperspace. Hera, she's basically left out in space right now because of the force of that energy. And then it cuts to the cliff, and the cliff that Ahsoka fell off to, which then transitions into the ocean, which transitions into her waking up in the world between worlds. Yes, the ultimate MacGuffin from Rebels decided to make its return, the ultimate realm. And then, while she's just exploring, she hears a small voice. Hello, Snips. And everybody, that's when we all lost our collective minds, because like, is it him? Is it who I think it is? And we turn around, it is him. It's my dad. It's Anakin Skywalker. Hayden Christensen in his Revenge of the Sith fit out here cooking. Ahsoka is speechless. The world is speechless.
Shooketh.
I'm shooketh. I'm in tears. Sort of the Jedi's in tears.
But wait, I know you heard it too at the very end.
I was getting there.
There we go.
But before I do, I have to say, when I was looking at his design, I noticed something on his belt.
Uh-oh.
His lightsaber.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't the Skywalker saber. It wasn't Youngling Slayer 9000. It was the Vader saber.
Oh, God.
It was the Vader hilt. And then when the episode ends, it ends with the Imperial March.
Damn.
Fuck.
Dude, I keep like the subtitles on because like I need to like see some of the things when I'm writing it down, just like for locations and stuff like that. And then like once it got to that, I was like, oh man, Anakin is back. And then it hit that Vader theme. Oh my God. Yeah, that they're in their bag right now. Like I know last week I said that they would kind of quote unquote lose. But like I didn't think they would take like that big of an L just because it's the mid. They took an L everybody, because you know Hera is also going to be in trouble when she has to get back. But yeah, so with that, what other takeaways do you have before we transition?
Besides the fact that they in their bag, folks is cooking. I need this episode. Need the next episode yesterday. Also, is a small blink and you miss it, where in Hera's ship, like right before she sits down, you see a picture of Kanan on the dashboard, a picture of her hubby, R.I.P. But let's move on before I.
Oh, speaking of, since we have this as a running joke on our show, man, the amount of Hera simping that I see online is wild.
So much.
But yeah, yeah,
I don't need to confirm nor deny any statements. I can't say anything, but yeah.
I won't say anything either. So we don't get force choked. But with that, let's get so I have an interesting MVP of the week, but we can either call it the MVP or the op of the week, depending on which way you want to go.
Well, let's just say none of our main characters are MVPs. I say that right now.
Right.
I'll okay. Here's the MVP slash op of the week for me goes to Balin. Because this man was able to
Yes.
handle Ahsoka, give her the beats,
Hey, dog walked
and
her.
then immediately afterward able to talk no jutsu Sabine into submission.
Mm-mm.
He completed his objective.
Exactly.
Like, he completed his mission. He did exactly what he was set out to do, and he did it.
Mm.
That's I mean, what more can I say? He set out what he accomplished.
Yeah, so my op of the week has to be Balin. Not only that, but like he gave the quote that I remember you quoting when we first did our first ever deconstruction. One must destroy in order to create. And I immediately thought of you.
For creation comes destruction. Shout out to Lord Beerus.
So I was literally like, because when I was thinking of MVP, I was like, everybody took an L. And I was like, Balin did literally, like you mentioned, everything he was supposed to do. Like he slowed down Ahsoka, he got the coordinates to it, he destroyed the map after he defeated Ahsoka, and then he recruited an op. There's nothing else. That was my checklist.
Yep. I mean, hey, listen, RP Ray Stevenson, but you did your thing, my guy.
Man, it's actually crazy because I watched RRR with someone, and then just like remembering that he is in that movie and he plays such an incredible villain. So it definitely sucks that he passed away. But man, that was a powerful performance because not only just that entire episode and then like his performance kind of amplified it. The episode, like a lot happened, but it was quiet in a sense where it was just like thoughtful and like it was a slow burn and then it got intense. And like in those quiet moments, he was able to talk and his words had so much weight to it, which was absolutely incredible. So he has to be MVP slash op of the week. So with that, we get into questions.
Here we go. I have 1.5 million of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 1.
Yeah.
It's actually going to start off small and then I'm starting getting bigger, right? We're going to start off with Marok, right? First question is, considering the fact that he's basically a resurrected night stalker / night zombie, right? What are the chances that we get to see more? Because we're more than magic.
And how many?
Exactly. So that's my first question. Question number 2 is, throughout this entire thing, we've seen the distinction in Shin and Balin's lightsaber colors being orange, whereas Marok is using the standard red.
Mm-hmm.
At what point are we going to either see them fully bleed the crystal red or them turn from the dark or just keep it orange? What's going to happen with their sabers then and their saber color / alignment at the end?
Right.
Number 3, what is Balin's end goal?
Yes, that was one of my questions.
Because at this point, like, all we know is that he's looking for power and looking for power through getting to Grand Admiral Thrawn. What's his end game? What's his objective? What's his goal? How does Shin factor into it? Is Shin going to basically usurp him? Rule of 2 style, where the apprentice overtakes the master. You know what I'm saying? Or is it going to be a case where Balin just straight up off Shin because baby girl, she's going to either turn or she going to go off the deep end? What's going to happen there? And then finally, the biggest question of them all, which is in the world between worlds. Annie? Are you okay?
I don't know.
Annie, are you okay? Because essentially, like, with this, endless possibilities. Like, because the last time we see Anakin, like, as a Force ghost was in Return of the Jedi, and he was in like some white robes.
Right.
But when he appears here, he appears in his Revenge of the Sith outfit, and the fact that he has the Vader saber on his hilt, and we got that musical stinger. Is he okay? Is he on the level, or is he about to pop off, King?
I can definitely see it that way. For one thing, I guess for people that haven't watched Rebels, can you explain the world between worlds for them?
Okay, so the world between worlds is essentially kind of like a realm outside of time and space, where the Force basically connects literally everything. And it connects everything from like the present, the past, and the future. Initially, you could only access it through a certain temple, through a certain Jedi temple that was on the planet Lothal, which Thrawn ended up taking and is currently on a ship, which was the ship that he was on when he disappeared, right?
Impressive.
So, but the whole thing about the world between worlds is that it's kind of like introducing time travel, but not really, where like you can affect things that happen because like you walk around on different paths and you see portals of different events that happen. And in the case of Ezra, he can pull, like he was the one who saved Ahsoka because he pulls her literally outside into the world between worlds, which is how she gained a connection to it. Which, again, that also brings up another question. How did she end up in the world between worlds in the first place?
That's true. Did she accidentally, or did Anakin, yank her?
Did Anakin pull her in like Ezra did before because she was gonna die again?
Right.
Or because another way you could get in is through Sith alchemy, which Sidious tried to do, but was disrupted and failed. Thank the Lord, because
that would have been over.
It would have been wraps for everything. But yeah, that's basically explanation of world between worlds.
All right. So my question goes to the morality test, but do you save your friend or do you save the galaxy? Because when I get to predictions and stuff, well, I'll just say it now. Sabine might be the reason that the First Order exists. That could quite possibly be the reason. So not only did she get her home destroyed, she might have possibly be the reason for episode 7, 8, and 9. Because she, like, if Thrawn comes back, we know again, I kind of hate that. One thing I love about Star Wars is that it's able to tell so many stories, even though there are set points, but at the same time, there are set points. So we do know that at some point, First Order rises, Kylo Ren, yada, yada, yada. We don't have to get too far into that. But if Thrawn is predicting the Kickstarter to all of this, then potentially she unintentionally caused this. And we also don't see Ezra in those movies. So what does that mean?
Well, to be fair, we don't see anybody.
This is true.
I'm just saying. But yeah, it's like that. Oh, Sabine, you kind of, yeah, you
kind of should have kept the long hair.
Again, long hair Sabine, she was doing just fine. You know what I'm saying? She was doing okay. She was doing all right in my book. But then you got infected. But also another thing that you know what, that goes into predictions.
All right, we can transition there. I don't have any other questions.
All right, cool. So in predictions, because I also got a few million. So in the fight between her and Shin, you see her attempt to use the Force.
Ooh.
With Shin saying, "You have no power." Prediction alert, she gonna get that power.
All that.
So that's number one.
Quick, I did write that down. In that scene, did Shin like reflexively react to her throwing her hand out, or what? Because like when I first saw it, I thought it was like, oh, did she like do like a mini push of the Force? And then when Shin was like, you don't have power, I was like, oh, maybe she just reflexively reacted to it.
See, that's how I took it. I thought it was like, oh, like she thought she was about to get Force pushed, and then realized, oh wait, hold on, you regular. You're regular. Get wrecked, scrub. Yeah, so that's one. Number two is basically it's basically predicting Anakin, right? And what I'm thinking is that he essentially took up the role of the father in the Mortis arc. For those of you who don't remember what the Mortis arc is, the Mortis arc was an arc in the Clone Wars, probably one of the most famous arcs. It was where we dealt with the father, the son, and the daughter, who are each represent aspects of the Force itself, with the son being the dark side, the daughter being the light side, and the father being the balance between the two. And I'm thinking Anakin is taking up that role as the balance, especially considering the fact that, well, he was Vader for well over 20 years.
Yep.
And he was the Jedi and Jedi Knight. I was about to say Jedi Master on reflex. Nope. He was Jedi Knight for like 20 plus years. So he does have that balance in him as well. And chosen one, most powerful Force user. And then also the fact that like, in going to what you said, like, oh, Anakin was the one who saved Ahsoka, it kind of makes sense because in the Mortis arc, spoiler alert, the daughter, aka the light side of the Force, dies. But before she dies, she ends up transferring her life essence into Ahsoka. So essentially, you kind of get like a resurrected light side or a resurrected version of the daughter in Ahsoka. And then you got Anakin as the father. Now that begs the question of who the son is. But then again, the son, if I remember correctly, the son was still. Oh wait. Yeah, the son was dead. My bad. The son did die, but it was kind of iffy. But yeah, so like that's one. So my prediction is that Anakin took up the role of the father, or he's essentially taken up the role that like Qui-Gon took. Like essentially trying to, guide people, but from the world between worlds.
I was just going to say, that's interesting that you mentioned the father, the son, and the daughter, because doesn't that kind of tie into Abeloth?
Oh, that 100% where Abeloth comes from.
So what if instead of not the Ujan Vaughn, what if that's where Thrawn is, chilling with Abeloth?
Well, then it's raps either way. Nobody can stop that. Unless you
quite literally.
It's like it's raps for the galaxy, and that's why they had to be in another one. But if Abeloth comes back, and that'd be heat. And then another one is essentially how I think Ahsoka is going to like get to where like Thrawn and Sabine and all of them are at. Because remember, they destroyed the map, right?
Right.
So Hera and them, they don't know how to get there.
Right.
But remember what I said earlier, that one of the ways to get into the world between worlds was through a Jedi temple that Thrawn took in his Star Destroyer, which then got sent to the other galaxy.
Interesting.
That's how Ahsoka gets there. Through that Jedi temple. It's like, boop, up, I'm out through here. All right, Thrawn, let's run pockets.
So it's essentially like a wormhole or a back door to like where Thrawn is.
Yes. Or she could have just literally straight up time traveled there, because again, the world between worlds can literally transport you anywhere at any time. And then also another big prediction for next week's episode is, Corey, we're going to explore through the world between worlds. I want to know what moments in Star Wars history are we going to see, and see like perhaps from a different perspective, like maybe Anakin reflecting on his battle with Obi-Wan in every single instance.
I think we might see Padme, honestly, like a memory of it, just to be kind of like him reflecting on, since that was like such a key part to him turning to essentially being manipulated to the dark side. I think we might see that, just a flashback, not like her and her like actually acting, but like a flashback of it, and then along with like the start of her kind of him and her master apprenticeship kind of thing. I think we might see that as well.
Yeah, definitely. But that's all predictions I had.
All right. Well, predictions. I thought that Thrawn was just gonna like pop up kind of like at the very end of the season because there's no way they're not gonna have a season 2 of Ahsoka. But we might see him episode 6. Because I think since Anakin pulled up in this episode, I think all of episode 5 is just gonna be Anakin, Ahsoka, and then kind of Hera trying to figure out where they are. I don't think we're really gonna get a good look of the bad guys that much, just because, with such a big introduction, I think a lot of people are going to want to see that reunion. And then I think that those two are strong enough to carry an entire episode if needed.
Yeah.
And then for big picture of Star Wars, again, I think Sabine just sold the entire universe, galaxy. So it is what it is. Anything else?
Oh yeah. So Ezra, what do you think? Is he still on the ship? Is he dead? Is he alive? What?
Well, how much time passed between the end of Rebels and this, do you think? Well, like him getting transported and the start of Ahsoka.
Well, let's see. How long did? Hold on. I actually have a concrete map of this. Give me like a few seconds. Set a timeline. All right. So the end of Rebels was about, let's say, 1 year before episode 4, and then this taking place at least probably like 9 years after episode 4. So like 10 years.
Oh, geez. Okay. 10 years in a different galaxy. Now it all makes more sense why they feel so strong about that. So I feel like Thrawn is going to be at the seat of either Abeloth or whatever great power is in the new galaxy, and he's going to like kind of be acquiring them just because, like you said, he is him. I think Ezra won't necessarily be like, it's not Dawn or Jane, but the mom from Ant-Man in Quantumania. I feel like we're going to see something similar, but like not completely. But I feel like he's either going to be a captive or he's going to be kind of guerrilla tacticking Thrawn, because I think Thrawn is still going to be powerful in that new galaxy.
Yeah, definitely could. Just know it's just like a matter of figuring out like, okay, what's going to happen where, and like what is gonna happen with Ezra as a result. Like, are we actually gonna see him in person, or are we just confined to the hologram?
I say we see that we see Thrawn first, and then we don't see Ezra until episode 8, and then we lead into season 2 with Thrawn coming back to the current galaxy and them having to escape or like find Ezra first, and then like we see when they come back like within season 2, Thrawn is like messing things up already, and they have to like play catch up.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that as part of the plan.
All right, cool. So with that, we just wait for episode 5 to drop. So kind of with that, we can hit into plugs and get up out of here.
Yep. We got ourselves our Instagram, X, still not used to that, formerly known as Twitter, and Threads account under Blurred City 22. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the notifications. Stay up to date when we release episodes. We also have ourselves our YouTube and our Patreon under Blurred City Pod. Donate a little cheddar. That's where you can give us a little cheddar, and then you can get access to exclusive episodes like the character analysis of the best villain in Naruto, Don't At Me, named Pain. We also have ourselves our Discord linked in our Instagram page and probably the Threads page as well. Go and join the fine community where you can see all the shenanigans we get ourselves into. And then we also have ourselves our email, blurredcity22@gmail.com, where you can submit suggestions for other episodes, submit questions for Q&A sessions, submit geek out freakouts, random fan theories, or the like. Or heck, if you just want to send us a strongly worded email about some people's theories, then go ahead and do that as well. And then finally, I'm the Rogue Jedi 21 on TikTok, however long we still got TikTok, and that is me.
All right. From my individual author pages, we have my Instagram, Mitri_dash. That is METRI_DASH. For my X/Twitter, that is at the Mad-16. And for us, you can catch us on Wednesday for our normal podcast. We are going to do a Nun 2 movie review. We are going to get excommunicated because of that review. It's going to be out of pocket. I can already see it. Meech just looking at me like he's lost. Like he's not about to go crazy on this either. So let's just say the body and the blood. So let's like that. I'll say it's not goodbye forever. This is goodbye for now, and that's the Blur City Podcast.
See ya in the world between worlds.